say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. We thank you once again for the co-creation of this interaction. We thank you individually. We thank you collectively. We are going to continue this transmission now by going right into your vote. So you may begin with your questions. Who's first?
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day. How do you vote?
I vote for a fifth law
Why?
because I feel that I and human beings in general get caught up in the temporal reality very much, the time-based reality, and that it harnesses us to a past-future paradigm, and we wind up really not being in the now much.
All right. Thank you for your vote.
You're welcome.
What else would you like to discuss?
That was pretty much it.
Oh, all right.
I just wanted to say I broke my wrist, and I'm exploring vulnerability and
As strength?
yes, actually,
All right.
and receptivity
All right.
as
And flexibility?
not so far, but yes, maybe
All
soon.
right. And giving yourself a break?
Yeah, yes, very much.
A change in how you handle things?
Yes,
All right.
yes, as gateways to intimacy.
All right. Is there something else about this you would like to explore at this moment?
Any insight you may have, I'm certainly open to all perspectives.
I have been giving you insights.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Do you feel you have what you need to move forward in your life in the way that you prefer at this particular moment?
Yes.
Then we thank you for your exchange and your vote.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes to what?
Yes.
4 or 5?
5.
5?
Yes.
Why?
Because if we didn't need the fifth law, you wouldn't have gone to all this trouble to tell us about it.
Interesting assumption. There was no trouble at all. We do what we do because it excites us to do so. Your decision is completely up to you. But we appreciate the idea of your acknowledgement of our excitement to tell you about the concept in this way. Anything else you would like to discuss this day?
Yes.
Proceed.
In LA, I asked you a question about driving
Yes.
and my fairy princess and how we could both be happy.
Yes.
Your answer was helpful.
Why, thank you.
And we've reached a kind of uneasy truce where,
An uneasy one?
yes.
Isn't by definition a truce supposed to make things easier?
Well, kind of. But if I drive as slow as I can stand it, then she can barely stand it because it's really fast for her.
Yes.
And we have hope that eventually things will both get used to the different extremes and
Each
it'll
of
get
you
better.
may be required to make a little bit of a shift, but the idea that we discussed with you was for the purpose of exploring why, really why, deeply why, the idea of expressing yourself in the way that you do express yourself feels like the only way that you can satisfy the things you're looking to satisfy. It wasn't really about just slowing down. It was about looking deeply as to why you go as fast as you do.
Well, we've been doing some of that, and
Yes.
it looks like this driving issue is just the tip of an iceberg.
It always is. It always is. As we have said, it has to do with basic unfulfilled wishes. And generally speaking, the things that seem to cause friction and conflict in your outer reality, the kinds of discussions you have, what you may be calling arguments or moments of disagreement, are usually never really germane to the true root causes. So that's why we are saying it is important to dig deep. Find out what the true wish fulfillment is that you believe is not being fulfilled, and look for the basis, the basic idea of what it is you feel is being unfulfilled, and then explore different ways in which that idea can be fulfilled, so that it doesn't necessarily have to only be fulfilled in one particular way that seems like the only way, because that isn't the only way. That was the whole root of the conversation that we had with you.
So one thing that I've found is that when Gertrude is unhappy or frustrated,
Yes.
I feel this kind of hidden joy that I'm not consciously aware of.
Are you talking about Schadenfreude?
It's almost like revenge.
Revenge.
Like when you've been like you're really mad at somebody and you want to get back at them without them knowing.
So you're saying that you are being passive aggressive?
I think so, yes.
I know so, yes. How does that really serve you to do it that way? Does it really allow you to be the joyful you prefer to be? Or does it keep you in a relatively low vibrational state to play that particular game that way?
I think it's allowing me to deal with things from my past.
What past? Remember the new second law? Everything is here and now that you voted for?
Maybe that will help.
Maybe. Perhaps that's why you voted for it, because that's the thing that will actually help you focus where you need to focus, by remaining in the present and letting go of the concept of the past, understanding that whatever it is you define yourself to be in the moment is who you truly are. And when you define yourself as a new person, then that new person has a new past.
So I can let go of the past just like that.
Why not? You don't have to. You may still insist on a process, and if you do, that's just fine. But you do have the capability of letting go of a reality, a parallel reality that you're calling the past, that if you truly redefine yourself has absolutely nothing at all to do with the new definition of who you choose to be. But it's up to you to know that that's true, and until you do, you will still be drawing upon that so-called past.
So I decide to let the past go consciously, but it doesn't go away. What am I doing wrong?
Then it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that you are not in touch with what it is specifically as a definition that makes it seem logical to hold on to those ideas you say you don't prefer. This is why we have discussed many times the mechanism of motivation. You always choose, always, without fail. You always choose the things that you truly believe are to your benefit, and you always move away from the things you truly believe are not to your benefit. So if you keep choosing something that you know empirically is not to your benefit, but you keep choosing it, that means there is an unconscious definition within you haven't discovered yet that is actually attached to that idea, that makes that choice seem to be actually more beneficial than the alternative. So you need to find out what that definition is that would make it seem like the more pleasurable alternative, other than the one you know may be more pleasurable, but you do not choose because you've attached to that alternative a definition that says it is the least pleasurable of the two choices. You have to find out how you have attached definitions to those things to make them seem to be the opposite of what you know they could be.
I'll try to digest that. Thank you.
Well, all right. Does that help you?
Yes.
Do you want more clarity on that idea?
Yes.
All right. You understand that everything that you experience in your reality is the product of something you define to be true. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So if you are continuing to choose something you don't prefer, the only reason you would do that is that you must have a definition you're unaware of that makes it seem to be the thing you do prefer over the alternative. Do you follow that?
Yes.
So you have to find out what kind of a definition would you have to attach to something you know you wouldn't really prefer to make it seem like something you would prefer over the alternative. For example, some people have definitions of the unknown that make the unknown seem very scary and very risky and very dangerous. So even though they may wish to make a change, they may always choose never to make the change because they have attached a definition to the unknown that makes it seem so much scarier than the alternative of just playing it safe. Even though you may no longer prefer what it is you're playing safe at, playing safe has been defined as the more beneficial alternative because of how you define that in comparison to the unknown choice that you know you would actually prefer to make. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So find the definition that you've attached to the idea of the choices you are making that make the negative choices seem to be more preferable than the choices you say you would rather be making. And once you have consciously identified that definition, you will see that it makes no sense and you will let it go. But you have to identify it first or you have nothing to work with.
All right.
Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, play with that. Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. How do you vote?
I vote for the 5 laws.
Why?
I think that it'll help people move away from the fear of change. I think most people fear it, and I think it will help eliminate that.
What about you?
I definitely have had feelings of fear of change, and I think when you were stating the 5 laws, it started to eliminate that fear for me, so thank you.
Well, you're the one who made the change within yourself, so thank you.
Thank you.
In what way did it do that? What definitions within you did this concept address in such a manner as to allow you to make the choice to let go of the fear?
It just created more confidence.
How? Did it clarify your understanding of your relationship?
Yes, exactly.
How?
Knowing that change is constant and an important part of moving forward.
Yes. Because things that don't change do what?
Create disease and things we don't want.
Stagnate and die.
Yes.
Yes. And is that sound like fun?
Absolutely not.
All right. Therefore, you have prioritized your definitions to allow for the idea that change will always be beneficial to you in some way, shape, or form, yes?
Yes.
Of course, knowing that the first 4 laws never change.
Yes.
We say the first 4. Some people would go, well, doesn't the 5th law also never change? But the idea is that change itself must become non-changing in order to support the idea that there are 4 laws that never change. Therefore, even the 5th law, everything changes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
The idea also of the 5 laws being that it is actually a description, a definition of existence itself, of the structure of existence itself, is the only thing that can actually be called objective reality. Everything else is your subjective perspective of the 5 laws and the combinations in the ways that you use it. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
It does. Thank you so much.
Anything else?
Yes, I was hoping you could enlighten me on how my family can resolve my brother's seizures that have been going on for quite some time.
One moment. There are many different ideas and techniques that can be applied herein. One would be to, in the moment when you believe this is coming on, or just prior to this, if you can give yourself some indication, to allow there to be a focus on the fingers in this way, in front of the eyes, and thus then slowly begin to allow him to track your fingers with his eyes in a figure 8, always coming back to the center, going into this side, back to the center, this side, back to the center, just with the eyes, not with the head. And in slowly practicing the idea of allowing the eyes to register both sides of the figure 8 in this way, and eventually adding other sounds, such as music, to represent the idea of this figure 8, and the exploration of both sides, both hemispheres of the brain, to harmonize and unitize them in this way, you may find over time some improvement in the ability of the different areas of the brain to more smoothly communicate with one another. You follow me?
Wow, yes.
So you may attempt that and see what happens and see where your synchronicity leads from there.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to you, good day. How do you vote?
I vote that there should be 5 laws.
Why?
Because the new paradigm, that the new second law seems like that's true, you know? And
Well, we know it's true.
yeah. So to me,
It isn't the issue as to whether or not it's true. It's an issue as to whether it should be called out more clearly.
I
So
think
why?
it should. I think it should because I think a lot of people on our planet kind of get caught up in the past and the future.
They do.
And the more that we can stay clearly in focus on the present, I think the more joyful and more in interaction we can be with each other.
Do you think that, or do you believe that, or do you know that?
I know that.
Thank you for your vote.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Gosh, there are a lot of questions that I would like to ask you.
Choose to start with one.
Okay. Well, let's see. Is there anything that you can tell me about my origin?
You were born on Earth. To ask for the origin, in a sense, is to misunderstand the idea that everything is here and now. You don't come from anywhere else. You are here and now. We understand what many of you mean when you ask that question, but
Yes.
what you're actually saying is, what other connections do I simultaneously have with this one?
Yes, that's
Because it's not an origin, because all things exist at once.
what I meant.
Then why didn't you say it that way?
I think sometimes, I don't know, my brain sometimes gets mixed up for some reason, and I don't know why.
Perhaps because it has contradictory and conflicting and outdated definitions in it. And it needs to be reprogrammed with more clear definitions that work for you. Just a suggestion. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So, what other connections do you need to know about?
I guess I always wonder about the dreams that I had.
Such as?
I had interactions with different ETs,
Yes.
and I would like to know, like, how they play a role in.
They play a role in creating an experience for you that pushes you more in the direction of wanting to become more of who you really are so that you will know more of what's actually going on. Does that help?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. I think yes.
All right. Is that sufficient? Or is there something else you wish to explore about this concept? You understand that many beings on your planet have interactions with other beings.
Yes.
Sometimes you remember these interactions as dreams, or you remember them in other ways. But the point for you is to take whatever it is out of those interactions that you prefer to take and apply it in your reality to allow you to become more of who you are so that you can have more conscious recognition of what these interactions are all about and become more aware and more participatory in a conscious way.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
So does this help?
Yes.
Is that sufficient?
Do you have any suggestions for ways that I could increase my... Well, I already answered my own question. I know what you would say. You would say,
What
yes.
would I say?
You would say, live in the now, be present, and
why
live
would
my
I say
highest
that?
excitement.
Why would I say that? Why do we say that? Why do we say act on your highest passion? Why?
Because
What's the point of doing that?
I think because it actually increases like the cellular vibration of our body, like
Yes.
of our...
And why does it do that? Why would acting on your passion increase the cellular vibration of your body? What is passion?
Passion is...
Is this the first day of school? Johnny, what is passion? Stand up before the class, please. Define passion.
Passion is doing what you're most excited about in every moment.
Yes, but why does that increase the cellular vibration of your being? What is it about passion that does that? What is it about acting on your passion that does that? No cheating. Many of you practice the ancient Chinese art of cheating. Well, we've said it many times to many of you. Act on your highest excitement because excitement and passion is your body's physical translation of the vibration of your true natural self that is most in alignment with all that is. That's why. Will you remember that now, or will you simply know it when you need to know it?
I think I'll know it when I need to know it.
Thank you. What is passion?
It is aligning with my true vibration.
Thank you. Does that help?
Yes.
Is that sufficient?
Yes, I think so. Thank you, Bashar.
Pleasant dreams to you.
You too. Good to meet you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day. How do you vote?
I like the 5 laws.
Because
It seems it would help us get unstuck with belief systems that we might have. Things like we can't move on to something new because of what has happened in the past. And the 5 laws would help us recreate the past from the present.
all right. Thank you very much. Anything else you would like to discuss? Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
I'm curious to know if you can give me a perspective on what you see, on how you view me, or...
We view energy patterns, whichever ones that you allow us to perceive that are relevant to whatever information we may or may not need to give you.
Is there any message from my guides or higher self that
Yes.
you might see?
Act on your highest passion.
Thank you.
Trust how your life unfolds. Trust the synchronicity in your life as being messages from your guides often.
Thank you.
Anything else you think you need to know?
Is there anything you can tell me about my fear of spiders?
Do you feel caught in a web?
Sometimes, yes.
You feel stuck
Yes.
with what?
Maybe something related to I want to do something, but I don't know how to.
Why would you let that stop you? Do you not believe that you know how to find out how to do something? If you don't know how to do something, you always know how to find out how to do something, don't you?
Yes.
Well, then what's stopping you?
I don't know yet. That's
Sure
something
you
I'll
do.
find out.
Sure you do. What's stopping you? I'll ask the question in a different way, and perhaps you will see that you do know. What's the worst thing you're afraid might happen if you in fact did act on your passion? What do you fear would happen if you simply allowed yourself to be who you preferred to be and do the things you preferred to do? What are you afraid will happen?
There's nothing that I can think of.
Come on.
I might just get what I want.
And if you get what you want, then what?
That would be really good.
It will be what?
It would be good. That's what I want.
And that's what you're afraid of? You're not really being honest. If you feel that you are hesitating to act on your highest passion, then you are hesitating because you are afraid of something. What are you afraid of? What do you imagine will happen negatively if you act on your highest passion? Are you afraid you will cut yourself off from your friends, your family, your society if you become someone too different? Or are you afraid of something else? Are you afraid to try because you're afraid you might fail?
That may be it.
Why do you have a definition that you would fail? If things didn't turn out the way that you imagined, so what? Do you not understand that it isn't the result that's important, but the willingness to act? The willingness to be who you are, regardless of what the outcome is? That's the important thing?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Then don't hold back. That's why we say that the entire formula of acting on your highest joy is to act on your highest joy to the best of your ability, with no assumption, no insistence, no expectation of what the outcome ought to be. None. When you can act from the pure joy of acting on your passion for its own sake, the outcomes that need to happen will happen. You don't need to insist that they have to happen in a certain way and that if they don't, that something is wrong, that you failed. It's not how it actually works. Act from the pure joy of acting on your passion, and you will see that whatever outcome happens, even if it's not what you expected, it will actually be the outcome that will lead you in the next direction, will give you the information you need to help you learn to move even more fully in the direction of your excitement, no matter what it is. As long as you give it that meaning, you'll be able to use it that way.
Okay.
But if you define it as an obstacle, if you define it as an interruption, if you define it as something having gone wrong, that's the only way you'll experience whatever it is that happens. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Do you feel now that you can move forward and not be hesitant to act on your highest joy every moment that you can?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you afraid to do so?
I'm less afraid. I think I can take more chances.
It's not a chance. Watch how you define these ideas. If you define something as chancy, if you define it as risky in a negative sense, that's what's holding you back. The idea of acting on something, and it may not turn out to be the way you think it ought to, is fine. You've discovered something new, and you've helped other people to understand how perhaps they can go about discovering something, and now they don't have to take the path that you took because you've proven to them that that path perhaps doesn't work. That's a positive discovery. You understand?
Yes.
Many people on your planet have an easier time of defining what it is they do prefer by first encountering more clearly what it is they don't prefer, so they have something to compare it with. That's a positive thing.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Does this help you?
It does. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And by the way, that's what your guides would want you to know.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. Cast your vote.
5.
Why?
Just easier, no?
Just easier, yes.
Yeah, it's just easier to define
All right, we'll accept that.
Okay.
Anything
so,
else?
Yep. So I wanted to discuss the concept called love at first sight.
Love at first sight.
Yes.
All right. There is a concept called love before first sight, but we'll stick with what you are offering.
It's here and now, right? Here and now, it's love at
Here
first
and now.
sight. So I've experienced that,
Yes, all right.
and it's one of the most exciting aspects of life, you could say.
Yes.
Though it doesn't always end happily.
Stop right there for one
Okay.
moment. Notice the contradictory definitions creeping in.
Yeah.
It's one of the most exciting experiences in life. Although... And then you shift to the other side with a definition that has absolutely nothing at all to do with the definition you just gave. So it is one of the most exciting things you can experience in life. Period.
Okay.
The although is a completely different definition of something else altogether and has nothing to do with love at first sight. Do you see how you're doing that? You're actually taking one thing and making an association to something completely different that you have no business making an association to, from this concept to that one. Each of these is its own concept. Love at first sight, one of the most exciting things you can experience in life. Period. Now, if you're going to go and explore something else that you don't prefer, that's what you're doing. But it has nothing at all to do with the effect that love at first sight being exciting has in your life. One does not lead to the other. They are completely separate ideas, completely separate definitions, and completely separate realities that you're describing here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's not this, although, or but. It's this and that. Which do you prefer?
Well, I prefer to keep it, simple.
Then stay in the vibration of love at first sight, regardless of the outcome. Did we not just define the entire formula as having absolutely no insistence on a particular outcome to justify the state? You do not need a particular outcome to justify your preferred state. Circumstances do not matter. Only state of being does. Do you understand this?
Okay.
Okay, not really, but okay.
So let me follow up on this.
By all means.
Okay, so
Love at first sight.
Okay, so it happened,
Yes.
and I decided to act upon it
All right, to the best of your ability.
to the best of my ability.
With no assumption of the outcome.
Okay.
If you didn't do it that way, you didn't follow the formula for excitement.
Okay, so I did my best to avoid having any assumptions.
But,
Just having the experience of love at first sight
yes,
implies something,
implies what?
some hidden reality or some kind of connection that's supposed to
Yes.
be there.
But don't have an assumption as to what that connection means.
Okay.
Don't have an assumption as to how that connection needs to play out. Love at first sight can happen for a number of different reasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it has to play out a certain way.
So
Sometimes your excitement will lead you in a certain direction simply because that's the direction in which it will serve you best to be led, but that has nothing at all to do with the style in which you are led.
Okay, so it's
You
basically
understand?
to push. It could be just to push me forward in a
It
direction.
could be just for that. It could be that you have to develop a different kind of relationship with the person that you have fallen in love with, other than assuming that it must play out this way or that way. Let it be what it is. Let it be the reflection it needs to be to teach you how to be more of yourself, because that's what relationships are for anyway. And support the other in allowing them to be whatever it is they truly prefer to be, because again, that's what relationships are for. Don't assume that just because you fall in love with someone that it has to play out in a certain societal way. It may have nothing at all to do with that in terms of why that connection exists. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But whatever it is will be what serves you best if you allow it to, instead of putting those assumptions in the way of letting it do its job for you, letting it be there for the real reason it is there, instead of for the reason that your mind insists it must be there. Because it has all these ideas that if it's not there for that reason that I've been taught it should be there, then somehow I'm going to be missing something, I'm going to be deprived of something, something's going to go wrong, I'm going to miss out. Who says? Let it be what it is, because whatever it is what serves you best. Don't impose conditions upon it to the degree that prevents you from really understanding why it really happened. Because it may have happened for an idea or a reason that you have absolutely no cognition of at this particular moment. So use it for what it is, trust it for what it gives you at that moment, experience what is happening, and forget about the idea of predicting what will happen, because your physical mind isn't capable of doing that. Only the higher mind knows how something's going to unfold. The physical mind only knows what's happening in front of it.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Is this helping you?
It does help me, yeah.
Are you feeling a little lighter?
Yeah, I am.
Are you feeling a little bit more in love with yourself? Because that's actually the first sight. If you're not in love with yourself, you can't really be in love with anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because everything else is you, is a reflection of you. And if you insist that something, a reflection you're getting is somehow wrong and doesn't fit, you're actually rejecting a part of yourself that you need to understand. So if you're in love with yourself, and I don't mean in a narcissistic way, if you're in love with yourself, you will accept that whatever is going on in the way that it's unfolding has some information for you. Again, it doesn't mean that you cannot converse and you cannot explore the possibility of allowing things to change in a certain direction, but you can do that without any insistence that they must change in that direction. You can always explore the possibilities, but then it's up to you to accept whatever it is that does play out as what needed to play out for the benefit of all concerned, not just one side or the other in a relationship. Sometimes being in love with someone means that the best thing may be that you are not necessarily in love in a traditional way. It may mean many other things. Let it be what it naturally needs to be to support everyone in the relationship. And trust that the way it plays out is the way that serves you best as well. Does this make sense?
What is an untraditional way?
When we talk about the idea of traditional ways on your planet, the idea is that someone usually on your planet assumes traditionally that if they fall in love with someone, it must lead to a particular kind of ritualistic marriage, and so on and so forth. It may not. You understand?
Yeah,
Does this help you?
it does.
All right. It may lead to that, but why don't you just find out if that's what's natural, instead of insisting on that having to be the way it must play out? Make sense?
Yes.
Take a deep breath. And let it out. And relax. Let your life unfold in a natural way. Your life already works. You've already made all the appointments and all the agreements and all the marriages that you need to make. Just let them unfold naturally. The only way to miss an appointment is to spend your life worrying that you have missed the appointment. That's the paradox. If you stop worrying that you're going to miss an appointment, you cannot miss an appointment that you've made. Because your life will unfold and everything will happen in perfect timing. Trust the timing. All right?
All right.
Does this help you?
It does. Can I ask another question?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I want to ask about I recently moved to San Francisco.
All right.
One of the
Speak up so that all may hear you.
Okay. One of the things that stand out in San Francisco, in my area, is the homeless people living in the street.
Yes.
I was, every time I come across a homeless person,
yes,
or some, it makes me feel instantly, bad, basically.
Why?
For a number of reasons. First
well,
of all,
give me one.
First of all, I'm not sure what's the best way to assist
Well, you can
homeless
ask them, perhaps. You can engage them in dialogue, find out why they are choosing what they're choosing. Offer them the opportunity to know that there may be other choices that they can make, but also accept the fact that some of them, not all of them, but some of them will continue to choose what seems unfathomable to you as a choice, that they should remain homeless.
Is there, so in your view, how would you,
I just told you.
I mean, how, as a collective
I just told you.
okay.
Engage people, commune with them, converse with them, find out why they are making the choices they are making based on the beliefs they're holding to be true for themselves. And then, after you offer them an opportunity to recognize that there may be other choices they could make, you must allow them to make the choices that they choose. That's it. That's all you need to do. That's all you can do. Offer them an opportunity to recognize there may be other ways of going about things, other choices that could be made based on their belief systems, other beliefs they could buy into. But then you have to allow them to choose what they choose. End of story. That's the only way you can really help. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because believe it or not, many of those people have made choices based on their own fears and actually, in some sense, because of their belief system, prefer to be that way for one reason or another. Some people who are, as you say, out on the street, in some way prefer that because then they have a belief that if they are in some way, shape, or form part of society, they are under someone's thumb or under control. Whereas being out on the street, they are free to be who they wish to be. Now, that doesn't mean they have to experience freedom that way, but that may simply be the basis of their belief system, creating the choices that they are making and creating the results that you're experiencing. But if you explore that with them and allow them the opportunity to find out if there is another way they could go about experiencing freedom, to use this example, then perhaps they don't necessarily have to divest themselves of all physiological objects in order to experience that idea. But if they still choose to buy into the idea, in whatever way, shape, or form they have chosen it, whether for positive or negative reasons, you have to allow them their choices. Yes?
Yeah.
You want them to allow you your choices, yes?
Yeah.
So you have to allow them their choices too. It's a two-way street. But you can explore with them if you wish. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Remember also that there are different perspectives on this idea. A person wandering around without necessarily inhabiting a house may simply feel that the entire planet is their home. And that you, living in a house, are the homeless one. Because you have cut yourself off from the rest of the world by surrounding yourself with walls. So it's a matter of perspective. Give yourself the opportunity to find out exactly what each perspective is before you assume a negative.
Good afternoon, Bashar.
And a you good day. How do you vote?
5.
And that is because
I believe that aspect of the original law should be highlighted initially to help with a greater understanding of the original law, much like going from the world is flat to the world is round concept.
all right, your planet is actually an oblate spheroid, but we'll accept round.
Okay, so my question for you today is, in a previous gathering, you mentioned the Atlanteans had come up with a way to help enhance learning in children.
Yes.
With drums and
Yes.
in recreating the heartbeat on
Yes.
drums. I'd appreciate it if you could elaborate on that and give specific details.
All right, well, again, the idea is that when the children gather in the form of a class, the drum begins to beat, and it begins to beat at a beat that is more the beat that is representative of the awake and aware state in your daily life. Slowly, the beat is slowed down to be more representative of the heartbeat in what you call the dream state. When the drum is slowed down, and when all the children allow their heartbeats to slow down to match the drum beat, they all go into a synchronous kind of daydream. And in that synchronous daydream, they are allowed the opportunity to visualize and are given clues to visualize the thing they need to learn about so that they can actually feel they are becoming that scenario or actually interacting in that scenario. It's a kind of a hypnotic state. It's a kind of hypnosis teaching system. But it relies specifically on the periodicity of the heartbeat to evoke the correct state in the brain to allow for these daydreams to seem very real so that the individuals can go very deeply into them and feel that they are actually truly interacting in real scenarios, so that by doing so they will retain more information and they will learn by doing in those daydreams, by being induced into the proper state to do so. Does that help you?
Yes, so once the heartbeat drum sound is slowed down, does then the instructor start providing a scenario?
Yes.
Verbally?
Yes. You are on a ship at sea. You are learning how to sail a ship at sea. You are the ship. You are the masts. You are the rigging. You are the sails. And the children can actually begin to identify their consciousness with those reflections in such a way that simply by becoming the sail in the daydream, they learn everything there is to know about the sail, and thus, in conjunction with all the other components of the ship, they learn everything there is to know about ships and sailing.
So is it a specific type of drum or a specific type of heartbeat, a child as opposed to an adult?
Well, again, the idea is that the heartbeat that is mostly representative of the awake and aware state is changed to the heartbeat that is mostly representative of your heartbeat when you are deep asleep and dreaming.
And it doesn't matter whether it's a child or adult?
No,
beat?
it does not.
Yeah.
I am simply saying that that's the way they generally taught their children.
Okay.
And the resonance of the drum can, to some degree, be important. What was chosen were those that most clearly and deeply resonated to the idea of what the heartbeat sounds like.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yes. Thank you very much.
And also, it was used to the idea of what you call regressions, because once the heartbeat sound is mimicked and mirrored, and you can take that resonance and the periodicity of the beat to the idea of the heartbeat that the child felt in the mother's womb, you can actually allow the child to have very clear memories of the entire birthing process and everything from that point forward. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Does this help you?
Yes, thank you very much.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Good day to you. Your vote is?
Number 5.
And why?
I feel we are ready. I feel our
Ready for what?
for this next expanded level of knowledge,
All right.
understanding.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
what
ready.
else do you wish to discuss?
I'm experiencing what I call accelerated timelessness. in my-
Yes. Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, because it's sort of like an oxymoron,
Yes, it
accelerated
is.
timeliness.
Yes.
And what I'm finding is that
Remember, we have always said, moving at infinite speed feels exactly like you are standing perfectly still. Because you're everywhere at once. Make sense?
yes.
So that is accelerated timelessness.
So what's been happening is that I find my fears,
Yes.
I'm actually able to move past them much faster now
Yes.
as part of that acceleration and timelessness.
Yes.
So-
Because anytime you are in the now, you have more access to more information and thus can transmute things more efficiently.
All right, so I would like to even go to the next level.
Which would be what? You're always going to the next level.
Okay, so how do I then, in this now,
Yes. This now?
all my
Or-
nows.
or this
all my
now.
nows. All my nows.
Or this now? Or this now?
Okay, every microsecond now.
Yes.
Every millisecond now.
Yes. How do
Is-
you what?
Is there a possibility of being in each now with all the positive beliefs that I would want and all the positive definitions I would want? So there doesn't even have to be drawing upon any fears or any definitions or any beliefs that no longer serves me because they all come from the past anyways.
Well, they actually all come from the present. You just say they come from the past, but that's just another version of the present. They don't come from the past. Change that definition now. Yes? They come from the present.
Okay.
There is no past.
Okay.
Is there? If everything is here and now, there is no such thing as the past. What you call the experience of the past is simply another parallel now.
Okay, so how do
this?
I choose all the parallel nows that supports the positive beliefs and definitions that...
By acting on your highest excitement and knowing that whatever is relevant for this particular life will be there to support you. Because the idea is that all you actually need is what's relevant to the path that you've chosen. All things are possible, but not all things are probable or relevant. So all you need to really understand is that whatever aspects of any other parallel reality are required for you to apply in your life now, will be the ones that manifest for you. And they will all be representative of positive reinforcing belief systems that are relevant for the path and theme you've chosen to explore. You don't need them all. You only need the ones that are relevant for the theme you're exploring at any given moment.
So if there's any fears which is still coming up in this now,
Yes.
it's positive for me in some way, and I just need to recognize that and understand that and accept it.
Well, the first thing that's positive is the recognition of the fear, of the negative definition, because if you don't recognize it, you don't have anything to work with. You don't have anything to change.
Okay.
So that's positive, isn't it?
Yes. That
Remember that as you explore and expand your excitement, one of its jobs will be to bring to your attention anything still remaining within you that doesn't match that vibration. So acting on your excitement doesn't necessarily at first make the idea of negative definitions disappear. It makes them stand out. It says you need to deal with this, because only when you deal with this and integrate it will you then change the energy of this into the energy of more excitement, which is the point of why it brings it to your attention.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, that part makes sense.
Oh, all right. What part doesn't?
Okay. So one of the things that I find is I'm more in the now
Yes.
is I'm becoming forgetful.
Good.
And now I'm too young to have
Good,
like
good, good,
dementia
good,
and
good, good,
senility.
good.
So I don't think it's because I'm getting demented.
Good.
Okay.
Forget about remembering.
Yeah, but there are important things like paying bills and washing dishes. You know what I'm saying? They're
It's
important.
only because you are focused on trying to retain a memory that you don't know what you need to know when you need to know it. We have no memory at all. And thus we forget nothing.
You have no
Because we
memory?
have nothing to forget.
You have no memory at all, so you
Listen
forget.
again.
Okay.
We have no memory at all, and thus we have nothing to forget. Therefore, we know everything we need to know when we need to know it. The only thing that's tripping you up is that you think you're losing your memory, that you think you need to remember things in a certain way. All you need to know is that you will know what you need to know when you need to know it, and you don't need to know it a moment before you need to know it. And thus, you will know it not a moment later than you need to know it. Forget about remembering. Just let the information be there as you need it, when you need it, in perfect timing.
So just be willing to pay the penalties if I've forgotten my bills and stuff like that.
Be willing to understand that you can allow yourself to know what you need to know so that there will be no penalties. But if that happens, then yes, allow it. But the idea is that you are attempting to level out. You're attempting to blend and harmonize still varying belief systems. That's what's tripping you up.
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry, I didn't quite get
You're
that.
attempting to harmonize contradictory belief systems. That's what's tripping you up.
So how do I untrip myself?
I just told you. Stop trying to reconcile disharmonious beliefs that have no business being in the same place at the same time.
So just allow myself to be forgetful and it's okay. And just
As soon as you allow it to be all right to forget, you will know what you need to know.
okay.
That's what we're saying.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And if you should decide to push those contradictory beliefs together again and suddenly find that, oh no, I forgot, and now I have penalties to pay. So what? So what? It's part of your process of understanding how to let go of those assumptions and those ideas that for some reason you will be punished and that there will be penalties by simply being yourself.
Ah, that's cool.
Yes.
Okay, that I like. Okay, got it.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Shed a little light?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. So there's no need to punish myself or.
No, unless you enjoy it. Unless you're excited about being a masochist.
For making mistakes or.
What mistakes?
Okay.
You may have chosen something you don't prefer. If you want to call that a mistake, fine.
Okay.
But don't judge yourself for having made it. If you make a mistake, don't make the mistake of judging yourself for having made the mistake. How's that?
Thank you. I'm very.
Or you're just compounding the idea of mistakes. Does that make sense? Yeah. Making the mistake isn't a mistake. Judging yourself for having done it is the mistake. Does that help you?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful for that. Thank you so much, Bashar.
All of you, make no mistake about it. You deserve to be happy. Period. You don't need a reason.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. How do you vote?
I vote for the fifth law.
Because?
I have practical experience. I am a past life hypnotherapy, even though there is no past lives.
All right, very good.
So through the few sessions I have done,
You understand that everything is here and now.
Yes.
This is knowledge to you.
Yes.
All right, very good.
And
anything else?
Yes, that we humans don't understand that those lives that are other lives that were connected affect us, and we
they
affect
don't
them.
affect you except as you choose to be affected.
Correct. Right. But through the therapy, people can connect to that, those energies, and change them.
Yes, they can.
And
the reason that it is possible to make those changes is because you're making those connections from the present. If the idea of influence and energy was actually really coming from the past, you would have absolutely no power over it to change it at all. The only reason you actually can change those kinds of connections is because those connections are actually existing only in the present, which is where you exist.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you are interacting with us, that also represents that in linear terms, saying that the future, those energies will influence us.
Well,
and
they are, in a sense, available to you to peruse, to consider, but what influence or effect they have are based on the choices you make as to what degree of this so-called future interaction you choose to incorporate into your present.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Does that make sense? All right.
And it's important for us to connect with those other paths.
If you believe that it's important, then it's important. If you don't, then it's not.
Okay.
It's up to you. It is one way, it's one permission slip, it's one way to recognize more of yourself, but it's not the only way.
But I believe that if we do that connection, we will be better in our linear future.
Good for you.
Humanity.
If that's what you believe, then that's what works for you. That's your permission slip. Good for you.
Thank you.
I am not invalidating, I'm not discounting it, I'm just saying if that's what works for you, then that's what works for you, because that's what your belief system says works for you. Therefore, by all means, that's your permission slip for this particular moment. By all means, use it, because it will work for you.
Great.
And it may work similarly for other people as well, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And someday you may change your mind about how you go about your relationship to this concept, or you may not. Either is fine too.
Great.
Does this help?
Yes, thank you.
Then thank you for the work that you do and the help that you give.
Thank you.
Yes?
Can I have another question? There is a group of people, they're very dear to me, that have this question. What?
They all have the same question?
Yes.
All right.
Well, it's a common concept that they wanted to explore is what is a spiritual union and how to obtain it.
What is a spiritual union and how to obtain it?
Yes.
Sounds like a manual. A spiritual union is simply the idea of the alignment of frequencies, the alignment of vibrations, the harmonizing of vibrations, the mirroring of vibrations. And you obtain it by acting on your highest excitement and thus getting the reflections of the vibrations that are on the same level. Yes?
Yes.
Simple, isn't it?
Very simple.
Not much of a manual, very thin.
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So it is time now for us to take our lunch break.
How synchronous. We will thus then allow you a break for your refreshment and continue this transmission afterwards. Our unconditional love to you all. Enjoy your break. How's it going? Good?